My name's Jennifer. I'm the head of local government affairs for Clean Power Alliance, which is the new community choice energy program or electricity provider for residents and soon-to-be businesses here in Thousand Oaks, as well as 30 other communities across Southern California. We're serving jurisdictions in both Ventura County and Los Angeles County. And so I'm excited today to be here to give you some background information on why Clean Power Alliance formed and how we operate, as well as what you are all probably interested in, your options as a customer, electricity consumer, and the options for your fellow community members here in Thousand Oaks. So I'll spend just a couple minutes talking through some slides. A lot of the information in my slides are also available in the handouts that I've passed out of the dais, as well as those that are back here. And I'm hoping to definitely answer a lot of questions that you might have today. And I'm happy to stay afterwards to answer questions from the audience. I also want to mention that Helen Cox from the city Sustainability Division is here as well if you have questions related to the city's participation. So Clean Power Alliance, we believe in a future that clean energy future that is local, where communities are empowered and customers have a choice in where their electricity comes from. And that's a choice. We really emphasize that word because it's a choice customers didn't previously have when Southern California Edison was the only option for your source of electricity. So we all know Southern California Edison is the existing utility that serves residents here in Thousand Oaks. And what Clean Power Alliance is doing is coming in as a second purchaser of energy supply and provider of that energy to customers. So customers now have a choice between getting their electricity provided by Clean Power Alliance or Southern California Edison. And then within Clean Power Alliance, you have a choice about how much renewable energy or how green you want to pay for on your electricity bill. So, like I said, we are a new clean energy supplier. Southern California Edison will continue to maintain all the infrastructure. They'll continue to send your electricity bill, your account information with Edison remains the same. We're not replacing Southern California Edison. We are now replacing the energy supply charges that all Edison customers pay for on their bill, and I'll talk about that as well. As I mentioned, Thousand Oaks is joined by 30 other communities across Southern California. 7 of the cities, as well as the county of Ventura, are participating in Clean Power Alliance, as well as a lot of the neighboring jurisdictions here in the Conejo Valley. So to give you a sense of the timing, when Clean Power Alliance formed, what we're offering customers, what the timing is for you to interact with your options and choices as an electricity consumer, we've actually been serving a small segment of customers since last year. We have been serving clean electricity to 30,000 customers in Los Angeles County. That was sort of our pilot phase. And this month in February is our big, what we call mass enrollment, and we are automatically starting to serve clean electricity to almost 1 million residential customers across Southern California, which includes about 50,000 customers here in Thousand Oaks, 45,000. So in terms of the timing, I just wanted to highlight that this service start date in February, it's not the same for every single resident here in Thousand Oaks. Your electricity source will start as Clean Power Alliance whenever your meter is read in the month of February. It's not like everyone started on February 1st. So it's essentially tied to your billing cycle, but throughout the course of February, we'll begin serving clean electricity to Thousand Oaks residents. And I also want to highlight that that automatic start to having Clean Power Alliance as your electricity provider is something the state of California requires of programs like ours. It's not an operational choice for us. When the state of California created the law that allows community choice programs to exist, and there's lots that exist up in Northern California, as well as a few others throughout Southern California, it has to be an automatic start for customers. So all Edison customers who live in jurisdictions that have joined a community choice program will automatically transition to their energy supply being provided by Clean Power Alliance, unless you decide to opt out, which you can do at various points throughout the year, really at any time. So I just wanted to highlight that that's why that automatic transition occurs. And lastly, I'm here today to talk about residential options, but in a couple months, starting in May 2019, we're also going to be serving business customers, municipal customers, and other non-residential customers in Thousand Oaks and across our territory. So just to kind of get to again, just to highlight that, Clean Power Alliance, we are now purchasing power on your behalf from clean energy sources. We buy it from the market, the same place everyone else who buys electricity buys it. But because we're a new organization, we're able to, and a lean organization, we're set up as a public agency comprised of these 31 jurisdictions that have joined and a small team supporting that organization. We're able to purchase that power at much more competitive rates, which allows us to offer it to customers at a savings or a premium depending on the amount of renewable energy that we offer compared to Edison. So to get to kind of the meat and potatoes of what we do and what folks are really interested in is what are your options if you stay with Clean Power Alliance? So as I mentioned, depending on when your electric meter gets read this month, you'll start receiving Clean Power Alliance energy supplied to you through your Edison bill. And there's a second piece to keep in mind, in that whatever you start at, one of our 3 rate options, the starting point was chosen by the City of Thousand Oaks through the default process. So the city is allowed to choose the default rate option that Clean Power Alliance offers for Thousand Oaks customers. And the city chose 100% green power to really make a leadership statement in terms of moving our region towards a healthier environment, offering cleaner energy to customers. But that's just a starting point. It's because of the way automatic enrollment works, we default you into whatever rate option the city has selected, and then you as a customer can either do nothing and you'll stay at that rate option, or you can choose one of our other 2 rate options, which are Lean Power and Clean Power. And then again, if you don't like either of the 3 options from Clean Power Alliance, you can opt out and return to having Southern California Edison supply your electricity. So just to go through our 3 options, we have Lean, Clean, 100% green. We're very excited. It rhymes. And our bottom tier, Lean Power, is 36% renewable energy, which offers actually a 1% savings than what you would pay to Southern California Edison. And I'll mention that all 3 of our options provide more green content, more green energy than what Edison would provide you. The difference then is on the price. So our Lean Power is a little bit more green than what Edison provides, but it costs 1% less than what you would pay to Edison. Our middle tier is 50% renewable. We purchase 50% renewable on your behalf, and it costs the same as what you would pay to Edison to get about 30% renewable. And then, of course, 100% green power, we would go out and purchase 100% of your customer's energy need from renewable sources, but that costs about 7 to 9% more than what you would pay to Edison for base amount of renewables. So those are the options. As you can see, if you're someone who has a priority to contribute to the green economy, to support the environment, if those are some of your priorities, you would want to stay with our 100% green power option. If you're someone who wants to save a little bit of money on your electricity bill each month as compared to what you would pay to Edison, then you could pick one of our lower tier options. And then, of course, as a customer, if neither of these options are something that you are interested in, you're happy with your electricity service through Southern California Edison, because it's an automatic enrollment, you do have to let us know you just want to opt out and return to Southern California Edison. And you can opt out as well as choose any of our 3 rate options by visiting our website or contacting our customer service center. And I have the number here as well as on the last slide. I've also provided business cards with the customer service information out to everyone, and there's some behind me as well. So I just wanted to emphasize a couple things here about your customer choices and the timing. To choose between any of Clean Power Alliance's 3 rate options, Lean, Clean, and 100% green, you can do that anytime as a customer. There's no time limits, no deadlines. We don't charge you to switch between any of our rates. You can call up our customer service and they can place you on whichever rate you'd like to be charged. You can change your mind later and switch as many times as you want. To opt out, there's a couple different ways to do it as well. Again, you can call customer service, go on our website. If you have already opted out well in advance of this service starting now in February, we just won't enroll you. So if you're someone who's already opted out, you'll just stay with Southern California Edison as you currently have your service with them. Right now, we're in what's called a 60-day enrollment window, where there's a 60-day period of when your service starts with Clean Power Alliance. 60 days after that, you can still opt out and return to Edison during that time, but Edison will charge a one-time account processing fee, which is 50 cents right now. So within that 60-day window, they'll still return you to service, but they charge a 50 cents one-time fee. It could go up to maybe $2 or $3, but no more than $3, and right now it's only 50 cents. And then the last thing to keep in mind is, let's say you want to wait a couple months, you want to see what your bills look like with Clean Power Alliance, and still later, some point later in the year, you decide you want to return to Edison still. You can also opt out and return to their service at that time. There's just something to keep in mind when you return to Edison several months from now. They have the ability to charge you what are called transitional rates for 6 months. And those transitional rates could be slightly higher than what you were paying to Edison, but they could be lower. It just depends on what they're currently charging at that moment. And the way to avoid those transitional rates is to let us know you want to opt back to Edison, but you want to wait it out for 6 months with Clean Power Alliance. We can go ahead and put you on any of the rate options you'd like to be on. And then after 6 months, you transition back to Edison at the standard rates. So those are and we know it's a lot of different, new options for customers to keep in mind. But what we try to always remind people is that if you don't have to do anything. You're more than welcome to just stay with the default selection, which is a couple extra dollars on your bill a month, but to get 100% green power. If you don't like that option, you do have to, take a step as a customer, but our customer service is open 7 days a week on the phone and is able to help process those changes with customers over the phone. The last thing I just wanted to mention, you might have read this in the news or heard about it. Edison is also anticipating to raise rates on all of its customers this year. That's not something that has to do with Clean Power Alliance. It's totally out of our control, but that's one of the reasons that we tell customers, Edison is looking to raise people's rates this year. And so if your bill goes up because of Edison and then you're someone who wants to make it go back down a little bit, our lean power product does have that 1% savings as compared to what you would pay to Edison. So just something you might hear in the news or from Edison as well over the next couple months. So those are the main choices and options that customers have. There's one of the handouts I provided is on financial assistance that is still available to all of our customers. The CARE program, for example, offers a 30% bill discount to folks who qualify, and there's various ways to qualify, including receiving Medi-Cal or Medicaid already. Our medical baseline program provides extra energy on your bill for those who use medically powered equipment. And actually here in Thousand Oaks, the city is offering, and Clean Power Alliance is offering the 100% green power at no additional cost to anyone who's on these financial assistance programs. And you don't have to reapply or re-enroll. If you're currently a CARE customer with Edison, you'll stay as part of that program. So that's the last thing I wanted to highlight. And again, we totally understand that a lot of these choices for energy customers is new. To be honest, before I started this job, I had never looked at my electricity bill. I just put it on auto pay and it goes, the money goes every month. But by having a community choice program in your community, we're actually helping a lot of people better understand where their electricity comes from, how they can contribute to supporting more renewable energy, or how they can save some money on their bill if that's what they're interested in. So we hope customers are, we hope to make more customers aware of their choices and help them interact with their new options. So I'm happy to answer any questions if there are any, and I'm happy to stick around.